Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recap and review of NCIS Season 11, Episode 22, Shooter. And as I was guessing in the Spoilers and Theories video, it was like shooter like a gun, but it was also shooter like click, like camera shooter. Two very different things. Let's try never to intertwine those two things ever again. So the plot of this episode is that a photographer who was taking pictures of homeless people was killed and his friend was killed, and all these people died in the same time span of the pictures that this man took. So we get the beginnings of that in the episode, and then in the after credits scene, we see that McGee has become Scruff McGruff, and I liked this plot until it was randomly dropped off at like the roadside, but I'll get to that later. In the episode, basically what happened is that this Marine was taking pictures of homeless people, and his friend was also supposed to go on trial for something in regards to the Army, in regards to the pictures, and the Army guy really hates the Navy guys, and Gibbs almost cuts the son of a biscuit dog eating biscuit. It gets intense, and then there is a clinic for homeless people, and there's a doctor and the owner, and it turns out that the owner was blackmailing the doctor into selling organs on the black market. And I don't know how I kept all of this straight in my head at midnight when I'm exhausted, but it happened. So that's the central plot of this episode. And once again, it has like the bad guy not really being a bad guy, except for like the actual bad guy who was the owner. But the organ seller wasn't really a bad guy. He was like, I was doing the wrong thing for the right reason. Or at least it started that way. It's not just like, I'm evil, let me kill some people. How they found that out was because a man named Blue, not to be confused with his dog Dave, Blue had his kidney stolen after he died by the doctor guy who was named Novak, and then his friend witnessed that he was still being like kept alive even though he was dead. And so then I guess the owner found out and like was like, and probably harvested some of his organs too. The main thing of this episode was showing a lot of the hard times that homeless people have to endure, and besides some ill-timed homeless people jokes that were borderline offensive, I liked it and I thought it did justice. I'm obviously not one of those people that can't take a joke, don't get me wrong. And I did think they did very well with it. The weird Scruff storyline with McGee was just kind of forgotten. I was hoping, since they made such a big deal about Gibbs like hating it, that Gibbs would like say something, because they were leading up to something, and then we just never got it, except McGee being homeless for like a minute and smelling like cat pee. McGee looking homeless, smelling like a cat. I have that effect when I wake up every morning. There was also a plot C, I guess, with Abby and a homeless girl named Emma, and I was very invested in this, probably more so than I was with anything else in the episode, though it was a tough second with that Scruff storyline. Still a more well-rounded plot than Tony and Ziva's love story. Sorry about it. It was about this girl named Emma, and when she was 16 she ran away from home, and they don't really specify why. She was just kind of unhappy with her family. And then she's 22 now, and she won't return home. Then Abby convinces her to return home, and it's sweet. And Dave, Dave was perfect. I hope Abby keeps Dave, or gives him to a shelter, or some really nice place, or a really nice family, because Dave was my favorite character. Love you, Dave. But that was Shooter. I liked it. Wasn't a favorite. I definitely didn't dislike it. I liked this episode. I enjoyed it. It felt kind of fast, even though it was a relatively longer episode. That's always a good sign. I liked it and was genuinely involved in at least one of the storylines, which is good. I will see you guys for the Spoilers and Theories for NCIS Season 11, Episode 23, Admiral's Daughter. I was very wrong about everything that I had to guess about this episode originally, and we will get to that in that video, so tune in. See you later. Goodbye.